everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Lisa. So today what we're going to do is, I've got part of my makeup on, part of it not. I've been playing around with my concealer. Now, if you like the video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. It's really easy to share a video by, if you go down where it says share, open that up, and you'll have like Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, all that on there. Just click on one of those and it'll just automatically post to it. What I'd like to do is, I'm only like at 54 subscribers. I'd like to get to 100. Let's see if we can double it, you know. So, but I'm going to show you what I've been doing recently for my under eye. Now, to understand what I have is, I have dry, crepey under eyes. Now, I have bags, dark circles, but I haven't been doing color correcting because as you get older, the more you put on, the worse it looks. So now I'm going to go through a few products that I've been doing this with, that I've been able to do it with, and my 4 concealers that I have. And where's the 4th one at? Here it is. Okay, so I have the Maybelline Fit Me, the Maybelline Age Rewind, the new Milani concealer, and the new Wet n Wild concealer. Now, I've tried this with these two. The Maybelline Instant Age Rewind one, it's a little bit more emollient, and it doesn't have the coverage I like. I like a much fuller coverage. And the Maybelline Fit Me is kind of the same way. It doesn't seem, your concealer needs to dry down to be able to do this. And these two here, the Wet n Wild and the Milani, have higher coverage than the two Maybellines do. So what I do is, I don't use any powder, because as soon as I put powder underneath my eyes, they turn really crepey looking. And when you wear glasses with bifocals, it emphasizes it. I mean, really brings it out to where when people look at you, they can really see it. Now, this has been helping me. I've got one eye down, one eye not. And, you know, so I'm going to show you what I've been doing lately for my under eye concealer. And try this out. I know there's a few of you have made comments about as soon as you put on your powder, it just turns into this crepey mess. The concealer isn't working the best. And you're right, these here have a tendency to really fade through the day. And that's not what I want. I want to find a concealer that will stick with me. So I'm going to show you how I use both of these in one day. It fades a little bit, but not too bad. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. So the Milani has a little foam tippy thing on there. Now, I do it in layers, very, very light layers to build up. And that way I have control over how much goes on. So I put just a tiny, tiny amount on. And then I don't use a wet beauty. I have one wet, but I don't use it right underneath my eyes because a wet beauty blender will have a tendency to shear it out. So I just sit there and I pat it, and I pat this out. And I kind of give it a few minutes to set, because as you pat it, pulls off the excess. So you get it to one point and you just let it sit. And I may take, just on the edge to blend that in. Now I'll let that sit for a bit to kind of start setting, because you want it to kind of, and these two actually kind of set. This here is so potent, you need, this Wet n Wild one is so potent, you need very little. When they've started comparing it to the Tarte Shape Tape, yeah, I mean, that's what I do. Little bitty drops. And I just slowly work this in and blend this out. Now I do, in some ways, I also changed a few things on my skincare, and I think those have helped a lot as well. I had a little bit on my finger. And I just work that, and every once in a while I come back to it and pat it. And that way it pulls off. And it's very light patting. Don't swipe. Very light patting on here. Then I take the beauty blender and I blend in the edge. Now I've done everything else. I don't put it, I'll powder my face, but what I powder, how I powder, is I take my e.l.f. HD setting powder, and this is an e.l.f. brush, knock it off a little bit, and I just do my cheeks, and down my nose, and my forehead, and maybe on my lips a little bit. I stay away from my eyes until the very end. And I didn't pick up very much on this brush, because I have normal dry skin, which is older skin, which, you know, if you're watching this, maybe that's why I'm watching. You know, it is what it is. But I don't go right underneath my eyes. It's more along the edge. And that's all I do for powder. After I've powdered my face, I am going to just get this set, put my blush and highlighter on, because I've got everything else pretty much done. If you notice, I don't hardly ever put anything underneath my eyes because I don't have eyelashes to do mascara, so I just leave them blank. But every so often I reach up while I'm doing this and just pat my under eyes. That way it pulls, if you've got creases, it pulls it out. Now if you have oily under eyes, I don't know as if this is really going to work for you, even though both of these are kind of drying. Now they do set fairly quickly, so that's why I put it on one eye, get it spread out. I don't put it underneath both eyes and then spread it out, you know, one eye at a time. I do one eye, get it spread out, and you can kind of feel it setting on your, you know, as you do it. So, and then I move to the other eye, and then I move back, you know, back and forth is how I do that. So if you have oily under eyes, I don't know as if this is going to work for you, but give it a try, because these do set, both of these do set down pretty good. Yeah, or if you have one that sets down, but these two are pretty potent in their coverage, especially this here. This is pretty thick, this Wet n Wild one. Now instead of doing this like on a work day or something like that, try it on a Sunday or your day off. Just take your concealer, put it on, and pat it out, and then see how your eye reacts without powder or anything, because I really don't. Today I did get a little powder up there, and it's showing a little bit of crepiness, but there's times when I stay clear away from my eyes. All I do is put it on my blush, on my nose, or on my cheeks and on my nose, you know, and stuff, on my lips and on my forehead. So yeah, give this a try on a day off. And now I do have to, because I haven't put any powder underneath, I've actually gotten where I keep a throw it in my purse like you would a lip gloss, and about hour 6 I can take a teeny tiny amount and add to it, because it'll fade. It wears off. So, yeah, you know, that's what I've been doing, and I've been so much better pleased with the results I've been getting. Like I said, I do contribute the lack of crepiness in my eyes also to the fact of some skincare that I've been doing. Sorry about that. I have been using, let me put on my glasses here so I can read this. The Art Naturals Vitamin C Age Defying Serum. It's got 20% vitamin C, amino acid blend, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, and ferulic acid. So I've been using that, and I have been doing some derma rolling. Yeah, I have been using this contraption of rolling needles on my face, and I actually think it, after a month and a half of doing it, it actually has really helped. So, but of the two that I like to use for this purpose when I'm not setting with powder, is the Wet n Wild and the Milani. I think you could probably get by with the Tarte Shape Tape because they have been comparing this Wet n Wild to the Tarte Shape Tape. Now it does not, you see, just a couple of dots is all I put on there. But that's been my under eye concealing. If you noticed, I didn't even do any color correcting because those are high enough pigment that I don't need to. So if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, give this a whirl. Thank you for joining me. You have a wonderful day, and thank you for all your support. Hope we get to 100. You have a nice day. Bye-bye.